To keep a close watch on a dangerous drug ring, a police squad bought a struggling fried chicken joint. But before they could even finish setting up their surveillance gear and mapping out the clues, their first wave of customers pulled up. The officers had initially thought they could conduct their investigation without any interruptions, but from that moment on, customers started flooding in one after another. Seeing this, the team leader, Officer Go, found himself in a real bind. When they first bought the place, the previous owner had been very clear that business was usually dead. However, it was the perfect vantage point to monitor the drug dealers nearby. After some back and forth discussion, the police decided to keep the shop open. Thinking it would help their cover, they went out and bought all the ingredients to start frying chicken. But after tasting what they cooked themselves, they felt sick. Just the thought of eating it made them want to vomit. There was no way anyone would believe they were running a serious business. Then, everything changed after they served one particular plate. Within moments, a group of customers arrived and ordered fried chicken with sauce. The problem was, the recipe they had bought only included spices for plain original chicken. With no other choice, the officer with the flat nose, Officer Ma, whipped up a special sauce for ribs. The taste of this rib-flavored fried chicken spread like wildfire among the local. Business exploded, and the cash register started overflowing by the end of each day. Meanwhile, team leader Officer Go completely lost sight of his primary objective, keeping an eye on the drug traffic. It wasn't just that. Since opening the shop, he was no longer the washed-out cop he used to be. Back home, his status and reputation had skyrocketed. Officer Go didn't want to explain why he was suddenly so successful. He just hinted that a big promotion was coming his way. In reality, before opening the fried chicken shop, Officer Go was known throughout the department as a completely incompetent, failed police officer. His subordinates weren't particularly good at their jobs either. He had worked hard his entire life, but even after 10 years on the force, his juniors had all earned promotions before him. On the day of one such promotion, when his junior hosted a party to celebrate, Officer Go and his team went along. Seeing their pathetic state, the junior officer took pity on them and gave them a vital tip regarding the drug dealers. Hearing that, Officer Go realized this was their best chance to turn things around. They immediately started their surveillance. They parked 3 cars, one on the side of the road, while the officer with the flat nose was tasked with watching from a distance. Very quickly, police cruisers swarmed the scene and arrested the flat-nosed officer. As it turned out, the woman who owned the building had called the police because she thought the flat-nosed officer was acting suspiciously, like he was up to no good. While this chaos was unfolding, Officer Go spotted a group of men he suspected were the drug dealer. To keep their cover, they quickly pretended to jump into the police car.
Stop.
After the 5 of them managed to track down the drug dealer's hideout, they returned to the chicken shop to resume their watch. They decided to buy the shop and turn it into their permanent base of operations. But their colleagues overlooked one major mistake. Since it was a fried chicken shop, someone had to actually run the business. But who? After a lot of bickering and tension among the team, it became clear that the flat-nosed officer's chicken was the most delicious. The flat-nosed officer was happy to get the recognition, but he soon realized this wasn't something to be happy about at all. Annoyed, he groaned, "I have to chop the garlic too." On the first day of business, the crowd was so massive that people from all over were drawn in by the smell. The fame of the chicken even spread outside the city. Meanwhile, the flat-nosed officer had to juggle working in the shop while keeping watch. Whenever he saw the drug dealers making a move, he would immediately call for the others, but the shop was so packed that no one could get away to help him. As a result, he had to tail them all by himself. The flat-nosed officer never imagined the drug dealers would split up and take different paths. If someone had been with him, they definitely wouldn't have let him slip away. He started yelling at his colleagues, "Have you all forgotten about our real mission?"
막막했던 그 심정을 아세요? 양념이냐 프라이드냐는.
When they finally decided that the investigation was the top priority, they raised the price of the chicken to try and thin out the crowd. But it didn't work. The store remained packed. Finally, they implemented a limited stock policy, which slowed the business a bit. Around this time, the higher-ups called them into headquarters to ask about the progress of the investigation. Seeing the report was practically empty, the officials couldn't believe it. They ordered them to shut down the mission immediately. But just then, a delivery order came in, which turned out to be a huge break. The call actually came from the drug dealers. This single call created the perfect opportunity for them to finally infiltrate the drug syndicate's lair.
야, 이 새끼들아, 어디가?
However, the drug dealers had already moved locations. Officer Go and his team hadn't made a single inch of progress in their investigation, despite all their hard work and spending their own money on the business. On top of that, they were all suspended. When it rains, it pours. The journalist who had come to review their food, whom they had insulted earlier, leaked the whole story to the public, which completely ruined the business. Now, Officer Go was out of a job and broke. The biggest worry was his wife. With his husband unemployed, there was no source of income, and on top of that, they had lost a significant amount of money on the shop. Luckily, Go had his pension, but his wife didn't know that he had secretly drained all that retirement savings to open the shop. Everything had been fine, but whenever his wife brought up the pension savings, Go would start shaking in his boots. If she found out he had spent all their secret savings, she would definitely divorce him. What am I going to do now, he wondered.
울지 말라고. 괜찮다고.
Just at that moment, a man in glasses found him. He was the mastermind behind all the plans of the drug syndicate. When he learned that the shop was on the verge of closing due to the bad press, he offered an idea. He suggested that they link their fried chicken shop to his chain of restaurants. The offer he made was incredible. Not only were they offering a huge sum of money up front, but they would also cover all the renovation and operating costs for the shop. The only condition was that they had to teach them the secret recipe and the techniques for cooking the chicken. As soon as they heard this, the eyes of everyone on the team lit up.
Without a second thought, they agreed immediately. But why would a drug kingpin want to franchise a fried chicken joint? As it turns out, he wanted to use the fried chicken home delivery network to move his drugs. The kingpin had no idea that the people behind the counter were actually undercover cops. And for their part, Officer Go and his team were clueless as to why any businessman would spend so much extra money to take over a failing, unprofitable shop. While Officer Go and his team were busy soaking in the joy of making money, they suddenly realized that things weren't as simple as they thought. The 7 franchise locations weren't even selling fried chicken seriously. Just imagine, you go to a restaurant and the staff is acting erratic, cursing, and getting into arguments. Would you even want to eat there?
주둥이당 튀겨줄까? 시간아 뽀뽀할 때 바삭바삭하고.
While keeping watch, Officer Go's team noticed that many customers didn't even want the chicken when they got their delivery. They only wanted the spice packets. It was bizarre. Once they looked into it, they realized that everyone buying those packets was an addict. They had finally uncovered the truth. The flat-nosed officer, Officer Ma, was the first to infiltrate the drug den. The two of them claimed they were inspectors from the main branch. Since they claimed to be from headquarters, the drug dealers actually believed they were their own people. But in a split second, the flat-nosed officer was taken down, and the kingpin realized they were being watched by the police. He immediately ordered his men to find the undercover cops and wipe them out. Just then, the young police officer with Officer Go tried to test a mixture of the illegal drugs, but as soon as a tiny bit touched him, he started freaking out. Meanwhile, the female officer received a call and realized that because of the sample the flat-nosed officer had left behind, their cover was officially blown. Now their top priority was to save the flat-nosed officer and take down the entire drug ring at once. On the other side, another special police team had already surrounded a group of the dealers. It was 5 on 5. The situation was finally in their favor. As night fell at the drug den, a low-level thug was preparing to bury the flat-nosed officer alive, and he didn't miss a chance to make fun of his face. But he would soon regret it, because the flat-nosed officer wasn't just some random guy. He had been a member of the national judo team, and his combat skills were top tier. When the flat-nosed officer saw someone trying to escape in a car, he didn't say a word and gave chase. He followed them to a spot where the kingpin was in the middle of a deal with another drug group. Seeing the enemy was far outnumbering him, he didn't dare attack blindly. Luckily, he had a special app on his phone designed to intimidate people, which temporarily froze them in their tracks. The flat-nosed officer realized he had chosen the wrong help or calling option, so he quickly changed his ringtone. The kingpin didn't dare attack either, assuming it was a robbery by another gang, so he opened fire first to hit the other side. Both groups started fighting, but during the brawl, they suddenly stopped.
because their common enemy had arrived on the battlefield. Even though Officer Go and his team weren't doing well at the police station, every one of them was a master of combat. The judo-trained flat-nosed officer had already shown his skills. This time, he focused on the guy who insulted his face. He didn't even use his fists, instead throwing him over his shoulder again and again. After taking hit after hit, the guy was completely neutralized. Meanwhile, the mermaid, the youngest officer, had been a member of the Special Forces and was a master of various grappling techniques. Whoever she fought had their arms and legs either broken or paralyzed. The female police officer had trained in Thai boxing, and every one of her movements was precise. Several drug dealers couldn't even get near her, and the team leader, Officer Go, he wasn't the best at attacking or defense, but his patience and endurance were limitless. When Officer Go saw the Kingpin trying to escape, he gave chase. But the female bodyguard with the Kingpin was a major threat. You could say she was the best fighter in the entire movie. Go and the others managed to beat her only by working together. The biggest contribution came from the female police officer. When she saw with her own eyes the slaps and hits the flat-nosed officer had taken, she lost her temper. The female officer didn't waste any time and beat the bodyguard senseless. If the flat-nosed officer hadn't pulled her away, she might have actually killed her. After a fierce battle, the 5 cops finally managed to subdue all the drug dealers. After their victory, the 5 of them posed in a style reminiscent of the movie A Hero No. 2. It's clear how much Hong Kong cinema had captured the hearts of the South Korean people. Of the 5, team leader Officer Go was the most injured, but he still had a craving for a snack because he saw his hard-earned money going down the drain. When it comes to South Korean comedy action films, Extreme Job is definitely one of the top 10 in history. After its release in 2019, it was a massive success, not just in Korea, but in the international box office as well. It broke the record set by Battle of Jongsari to become the all-time box office champion in Korea, with over 16 million local viewers. I highly recommend you watch the original movie. It's truly very funny. Watching it will really help you relieve your stress. Watch the movie, and I'll share the joy of classic cinema with you. Don't forget to like if you enjoyed this. See you in the next episode.